There's Paul Rudd, who was also in Wet Hot American Summer.
Okay, he's extremely handsome and extremely funny. Please tell me he's just a jerk who smells bad.
He's a jerk. He smells bad.
Thank you.
Was that it?
Hi, welcome to Couch Surfing, the show where fabulous guests look back at their big roles, their little roles, and everything in between. I'm here with Michael Ian Black. Michael, let's see what's on. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
My parents are nagging me to get good grades. They want me to get a good job, be a big success.
You know him. You love him. He's got an awesome sweater on.
Yeah. So this is a PSA that I did. Not PSA, like a little thing when I was 18. It was like a thing where if you were thinking about joining a cult, this would tell you like, hey, don't join a cult. And there's Charlton Heston, with whom I starred.
So that is the biggest co-star of your career.
By far,
Charlton Heston.
Biggest co-star of my career is Charlton Heston. Well, we did not appear ever on screen at the same time, but he was the host of the cult saying no under pressure video that I made.
Wait, but seriously, how were you able to keep a straight face during the filming of that?
Oh, you don't understand like what a serious actor I was. I mean, I was taking it deadly seriously.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, not that I cared about cults, but I was really trying to do a good acting job.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because you strike me as someone who might have been there and like taking notes and like, I cannot wait to spoof this moment.
Oh no.
No.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It was my first ever job. I was like 17 or 18 and I was not going to blow it.
You were not going to blow it. Well, you did a great job.
I don't think so.
I'm not in a cult as a result, so thank you very much.
Not yet, you're not. I do want to have a conversation about this really interesting group that I've been meeting
really?
with. Just after this. I think you're really going to like them. They have some really cool things to say.
Moving right along.
Okay, so this is from The State, which is the sketch comedy group show that I got my start in.
Yeah.
We started in college,
Yes.
and then we ended up with our own show on MTV.
I mean, how did you guys make that happen? I mean, did you know somebody there? Did you
Kind of.
audition? Did they come see
Kind
you
of.
perform? Like,
Kind
walk me
of.
through it. How did you
All right.
make that happen?
One of our guys, David Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
who is now a big-time director and writer, he was an intern there. His older sister's ex-boyfriend was a producer, a music producer. He did like documentary things, and they
Okay.
had stayed in touch and been friends. And his name is John, and John had come to see our group and was sort of like, I think maybe we could kind of slide in and do something. And we got a meeting with MTV, and MTV said, we would never hire you because you're basically like 10 white dudes and a girl, and like you're not all camera ready is the phrase that they used, which I agree with. We were not all camera ready, myself included. But they were doing this little show called You Wrote It, You Watch It, which was hosted by Jon Stewart. That was his first job. And they hired us to make little sketches. And off of the strength of those sketches, they gave us our own show.
Fantastic. You ready?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
Okay, Phil. I'm all yours.
Oh, so this is from Ed, which was on NBC. It was my first network show. I guess my only network show to date that has stayed on the air with any regularity.
Did you feel like you'd made it once you
No,
landed
did I feel like I made it?
Well,
Lola,
you get a network show. That's a big deal.
as far as network checks go, I got a very bad one. But I played the bowling alley manager. I don't know what the episode this is. We worked at a bowling alley in New Jersey, and how do you not like that?
I love it.
Most of my day was spent just hanging out in a bowling alley.
Do you still bowl now?
I didn't bowl then.
And it was produced by David Letterman's production company,
Worldwide
Pants. And so did he have to sign off on you being signed on?
I don't think Letterman himself gave a shit about who was playing the role of the bowling alley manager. I don't think he cared.
He didn't
I
care.
don't think.
He should have.
Well, I did get a nice note from him when it ended.
Really? What did he say?
He just said, it was just a very short, like, Dear Michael, like something like, basically like, you did a great job. Thank you so much for all your hard work. Love, Dave. And I kept the letter. And
I was going to say, you
I
have
don't
to
think he
keep
said
something
love.
like that.
I don't think he said love, Dave.
Yeah,
He said
Dave strikes
Dave.
me as
I think he just said Dave.
Dave, dash Dave.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Sincerely.
I don't even think it was
No,
sincere.
no.
It was
Yeah.
as dictated from.
That sounds about right. All right, up next.
This is Wet Hot American Summer, a summer camp movie. Tiny movie with a great cast. There's Amy, and then you're about to see Janine Garofalo and Bradley Cooper. This is the scene where I get married to Bradley Cooper. And at the time, this was before gay marriage was really a thing. And so we have this big sex scene, and the sex scene is the only thing in the movie that's really like lit well and like looks good. And it's a joke that like, and the joke of it was the earnestness. Look, we weren't making fun of the relationship. If anything, we were flipping the expectation of that joke on its head and saying, this is the one thing that we're taking seriously. But now, because, you know, gay relationships are so kind of mainstream, like it wouldn't even necessarily read right now.
But it took a while for audiences to sort of figure out how amazing this film was, right? Because they didn't quite get it
bombed
initially.
at the box office.
It was not a blockbuster at all.
Oh, no.
But it eventually became a classic. So what do you think audiences eventually got?
I think the humor of it is very specific, and there was a point of view to it that you kind of had to key into, and a lot of mainstream audiences just didn't understand that we were even making jokes at times, like that they were even jokes. Like Roger Ebert, I remember, hated it and wrote like a parody song. There's an old camp song called Hello Mudda, Hello Fada, and he wrote new lyrics to that, talking about how bad the movie. Talking about how bad the movie was, because they didn't understand.
That's horrible and creative, but horrible.
This is Stella, which may be my favorite thing I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, my short-lived television show. This is the pilot, I think, with David Wayne and Michael Showalter, who made Wet Hot. And this is based off of a live show we used to do in New York City where we made these videos. And they featured a lot more dildos than the TV show ended up featuring, for obvious reasons. But it was this kind of absurdist, Marx Brothersian thing that we created, really absurd, really silly.
So other than ditching the dildos, how did you have to change it for network television?
We didn't really, other than creating much sort of bigger stories, wider stories that had a lot more plot to them than we made for the live show.
Any future Stella shows?
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
That could be a reboot.
I would. That is the one thing I would
right?
reboot if we could. But there's Rashida Jones, who was in the pilot but wasn't in anything after that.
We're fine.
Where is she now?
She dropped out of show business.
Up next.
You know, George, the Bill Clinton videotape.
Okay, so this is
$2 for a donut.
Netflix,
Right.
after Wet Hot American Summer had been out for years and years,
Unless I campaign for you.
decided to make a TV series. And so we haven't aged that much. I'm playing George H.W. Bush,
The elder George.
the elder George Bush,
Not the younger George, the
part of
elder
a plan to nuke the summer camp, and Michael's playing Ronald Reagan there, obviously. And so you have the traditional Reagan, Bush, gonna nuke a summer camp plot that you have to have.
Right, of course. Were you trying to make a political statement at all? No. There's nothing deeper here.
No, there's
just having a
nothing-
good time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It is just stupid. And here's my book. I'm Sad. One of many books that I've written for kids. This is the 8th one. And this is about a sad flamingo who says, and you can see right there, that's the first page, the flamingo says, I'm sad. And then there's a potato, a talking potato in the book, and a little girl in the book. And it's about how it's okay to be sad. So this book is kind of about how I learned as a parent, like, sometimes you can't, and it's not even necessarily your job to make it better. Like, they're just gonna be sad sometimes, and it's okay.
And you have to just be okay with
Yeah.
that and know that they will come out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have them trust that they will come out of it too, that, you know, they'll be okay.
But isn't that extremely difficult, especially in this era of helicopter parenting where you're just supposed to hover and make sure
Yeah.
that every single thing in their life is okay?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And it's something I had to learn, and it's something I think my wife had to learn. And I feel like I feel like a parent has 2 jobs, and really only 2 jobs.
What
One,
are
make your kids feel loved, help them understand that they're loved, and 2, make them feel safe. And beyond that, I almost feel like, yeah, like I'll feed you, I guess. But beyond that, like that's about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm here to love you and help and make you feel safe, and to make sure that you know that you can rely on yourself and your own strength and your own character and independence to live in this world. And I've come to believe that more and more the further I've gotten to my parenting.
I think that's going to be very liberating for a lot of parents, so thank you
I
for
hope.
that. Oh,
Because there's so much pressure, not only on kids, but on parents, just to like be the perfect parent, and you can't be.
Michael's book, I'm Sad, from Simon & Schuster Books for young readers, is in bookstores now. Thanks for coming by, Michael. See you next week on Couch Surfing. Bye.